So here's a real life example for how we're going to set up a Performance Max campaign. Now this is one of my clients, Hello Sunday, a local Australian family owned business. And you can see they're running smart shopping. So they're not spending a whole lot of money. I'm just going to start by managing this account. I've just taken over the account. I'm literally going to go about the process of doing what I'm actually doing, which is to launch a Performance Max campaign. So look at how I'm going through, new campaign. I make sure to click on Performance Max. I'm just going to name it Performance Max. The budget, I'm going to just start this small, $25 a day. It's a small business. And now here's the question. So bidding, what do you want to focus on, conversions or conversion value? Conversion value is a new bidding strategy that Google offers. I'm actually going to go with that because I've been seeing great results from that recently with no target, because I want to spend the full value of that $25 budget. And I want to see how many conversions basically I can get for that to begin with. We're going to make that just Australia. Going to check a few more settings. That all looks good. Nothing to change there. And now we're going to go about the process of actually building our asset group. So when it comes to asset groups, we want to think about the most efficient way that we can do this. Now this is a business with a whole lot of products, thousands of SKUs. And you notice the way that they've divided it is sort of like this. So we have bags and purses, home and living, accessories. We have a lot of stationery, everyday stationery, journals and notebooks. And I know we have a lot of cards as well, so greeting cards. Now, instead of just putting everything into one big asset group and having, images that somehow span all those different product categories, I'm going to divide them and have one ad for each of those asset groups, making sure that in the next step, I'm going to actually select the right products according to that ad. So the first thing that I'm going to promote here, which is one of the major aspects of the brand, are their cards and wraps. I'm going to take that URL and drive people directly to that. And then I'm going to take images. And I might even get the images to scan directly from that URL, which you can see it's doing here. And it's got a whole bunch of cards. They're not ideal though, those images. I don't want specific product images. Remember, these are high level ads to show for the entire asset group. I want to see like a group of cards, something interesting like that. Hopefully their Instagram or Facebook can offer me something good there. Honestly, that should be fine. So we've got that. I want to make sure we've got the logos as well. This is their logo here. Take that. That's really all we need. Any videos? It'll be interesting to see. Usually it's automatically connected to their YouTube channel. It doesn't look like they have videos as well. So I'm going to have to get a bunch of assets off the client. And now I'm going to go about the process of building headlines. There we go. I'm happy with that. What I'm going to do now is create an audience signal. Now this is literally a process of just giving the system as much information as you can and basically using it as a way to kind of kickstart the campaign. So the campaign has an idea of where to begin. Often these new clients don't have any remarketing lists or anything like that. Actually, okay, we might have a few importing directly from Shopify. Pretty much want to take all this. So all visitors, Google Ads, all converters, all visitors, analytics. I already know that they have some tracking issues. So I don't trust that these lists are fully fleshed out, updating, regularly populating. So I'm just going to click all of them. Again, it's an indication and it's a small business, so that's not going to be many people, even if I take all of those lists. In terms of custom segments, here's where I basically need to create my own. Now you can see when it comes to creating a custom segment, we basically have two options. We can enter in a bunch of keywords, but we have people with any of these interests or purchase intentions, and we have people who search for any of these terms on Google. Now you can see I've already put a whole bunch of keywords in there relating to our card offerings, lots regarding birthday, but then Father's Day, gift cards, good luck cards, love cards, everything. Now you can really think of these two as the bottom one is more narrow, more targeted than the top one. Okay, generally speaking, that's a good way you can approach it. Now in this case, for example, I'm going to keep it at the top one, and the reason is, it's a very small business. Already we're competing in a competitive space. And I think it's just because it's just an indication, and I don't believe we have much data in the account regarding sort of past usership and remarketing lists that I can rely on. I think we're going to really need to give the system a good, like sort of a broad understanding of who they can go after. So I'm just going to keep it as the top one for now and check in with the data. And if I need to change that later on, I will. So we have our purchase intentions for cards in market. Sometimes you can find some interesting ones in here as defined by Google. That's about all, because remember, this is my cards asset group. So I'm going to go cards audience signal, and that looks good. So once I've saved that, you can see that we now have our audience signal for cards specifically connected with our ad that's dedicated just to cards. So I want to make sure I call this cards and I'm going to change the products to be a selection of products by product type. That's how I've asked the customer to arrange their data. And birthday, basically all of these cards are what I need. So we've got all of our cards connected in there. Fantastic. Cards. And we can carry on. Just want to make sure we have our site link extensions connected there. Call out extensions, we've already got a few in here. That's great. We're going to go greeting cards, wrapping paper. We seem to already mention that. We want 2, might as well add a few more as well. There's absolutely no harm in that. Structured snippet extensions, I've covered this before. So it looks like they've already got some in the account we can use. That's great. The others I will leave for the moment because I've got a lot of other asset groups to build here. As long as we have those core extensions that I've mentioned before. What I'm going to do is launch the campaign and then come back and add the other asset groups in. You notice it's just, there we go. It's getting very dark in my room here. It looks like some sort of witch's cave. Might turn a light on. So now you can see I've got one asset group for cards, one for stationery, and one for art and decor. Now each of those asset groups is tied to a different selection of products that you can see under products here. We've got products filtered by product type, and that's how I've done it. So if I was to look at the list of data to get all those product types, it's a long sort of list that looks like this basically. And I've just taken the product type column and begun to kind of structure my campaign this way. So you will have your own product types to think about, your own sort of categorizations. And when it comes to a brand like this, for example, with over 2,000 products, we are essentially looking to pick the priority products, which happen to be these 3 in this case, and then we're going to work from there. So now we have a fully functioning campaign, $25 a day targeting Australia, and it's going out for cards, stationery, and art and decor.